Hey everybody, welcome to, whatever this is. So I decided that I was gonna start uploading things again. Uh, so, bit of a backstory, I've been streaming, like, games for a while, but, like, at some point, streaming just stopped, like, feeling good for me. Uh, and I just, like, got super disillusioned with it, so I think I'm gonna just start doing just recorded stuff from now on. Let me... Okay, everything seems to be in place. Okay, so what am I doing? I kind of want to play more... So there's three types of games that I kind of have a lot of deep emotional ties to, and that is in this order of RPGs, mystery games, and open world sandbox games. Normally those don't connect with each other, but in this case, this game overlapped with two things, and I kind of wanted to record stuff about this. So, if you don't know, there was a YouTuber I found one day on accident, and I'm now like a really big fan of their stuff. Whose name is Vote for Holt, and he made a video about the Painscreek killings. And one of the first things that he said in the video is that he wants people to go in and experience this game completely blind. Unfortunately, I did not listen. I actually started watching some of the video a little bit, and then I realized, no, this is actually very interesting. And so I only know a few things. Let me pull up my notes sheet. That's gonna be annoying. Is that my game is gonna minimize every single time I do that. I have some notes here, just pulled up on a side window, and I'm gonna just start writing things down that I know to kind of like explain where my mindset is at. I think I'm gonna do this for most games that I am going to be recording in this sort of sense. So, things that I know before coming into the game, okay? And this is the part that I'm gonna keep like right at the top so I remind myself. First things first, there is a... Okay, so I had to double check things. So there was a 3-act structure to this game. And the way that it goes is Act 1 ends with opening the car. Act 2 is when you find a secret room inside of a cabin. I don't know which cabin it is, I just know that getting inside of there is the bottleneck for Act 2. And then the end of Act 3, which is the end of the game. Very simple, 3-act structure sort of thing. That is basically all I really know about it. I know some minor things, but again, like, that's what this section is. Okay, I can find out who the killer is at any time. I'm putting an asterisk on that because it is important that when I finally find the thing that it is connected to, I will not be engaging with it, since I know that that actually is the fail-safe get out of jail free card. I don't want to activate it. And so when that pops up, I will mention that I will not engage. But I will explain how I found it in my playthrough. Unfortunately, not even my playthrough, as you can tell by the continue button, is fully clean. And I'm going to explain exactly where I ended. So, besides the tutorial achievement, I have 2 achievements in the game. And one is for Andrew Reed, and one is for Mary Martinez. I have found all of their journals, and I've read through most of them, but I've kind of just skimmed them for, like, some of the information. And that's basically the only 3 achievements that I've gotten in the game. Everything else, I'm kind of at a loss for. I also know the location of Bernard's house, because that's basically where I stopped playing, which does help a bit, but apparently I'm also not supposed to Maybe I'm not supposed to know where that is yet because I just brute forced my way into finding Bernard's house. And then the last thing I kind of know. I'm trying to think if there's like anything like burning that is very important that I mentioned that I know. So, how about we just continue on until we get to okay, some keys for mystery. So, this is what I kind of see as like the cornerstone for any good mystery story. Any character with a full name is important. Uh, this doesn't go for like some, but the more information you know about a character, the better. Like, there are some characters in some games that when you encounter them, you only get told like their last name. Like, oh, like Susan was over. And it's like, it's just ambiguously named Susan, no last name. Usually that means that they're not really too important. Same thing if it's like, oh, this was Miss Callahan's key. You know, it's like, neither of those are too important. But if you get told Miss Susan Callahan was here, that is a full name, and that character is now important. And we're going to be writing down every full name that we come across. And if a character only has a partial name, we'll write them down here for later. Another that you need to be able to find a reason why someone is dead. If someone just ends up dying outside the actual like story, and it doesn't tell you why, it's usually because that character actually isn't too important. If that character is literally just like unceremoniously removed from the story, it's it's a sign that they might not be too important. Anytime specific things are told about a character, it's important. So we're also going to list connections for those for certain characters and how they're all connected. I wish I had like one of those org chart web type things to like throw into here, but I kind of don't really have the time or patience for that. I just remembered what it was. Anytime that a door, if you mouse over the keyhole and it says unlock, it means it can be opened. There is something in this game that can unlock it. And the reason why I remembered that is there's going to be something that I call keys and keyholes. Now, this isn't like too astounding of a like revelation, but like any single time that you have a key, it goes to a keyhole. And sometimes you'll find a keyhole before you find a key, and sometimes you'll just find a key and it'll be loose. And so I'm gonna keep track of which keys go into which holes. And finally, dates. Very important of like if a certain like year or a certain like month keeps popping up, I'm going to make a note of it. Okay, now that I've basically spent 13 minutes, wow, what do you know? 13 minutes just talking about like some notes. I might as well just start. Now I'm wiping from my memory everything else that I know about the game. This game seeks to emulate to a certain degree the experience of investigating a murder mystery. You'll need to search each location carefully, find clues to proceed, and use your observation and deduction skills to uncover the hidden secrets. We recommend writing down your own notes or taking advantage of the in-game camera. This game autosaves when you enter a location. Simply use the reload button in the menu to transport you back to the entrance of the location. Good luck. Okay.
Hey, Janet. So the chief has entrusted you with my assignment, hey? I hope it didn't interfere with your weekend plans. Anyway, he told me to call you and fill you in on it. You remember the murder that happened a few years back that was never solved? The one at Painscreek where the ex-mayor's wife was killed? Well, the property's being auctioned off soon, so we don't have much time to dig up anything that's relevant to the case. So see what you can find. Hopefully it'll be something worth publishing. Anyway, take care. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.
Okay, I had to drink some water. Okay, August 3rd, 1993. Oh my gosh. August 3rd, 1999. 4 years ago, Vivian Roberts, a successful businesswoman and wife of a former mayor, was murdered and dragged to the front of her own home. The case was never solved and the killer was never found. It is rumored that a private investigator is in Painscreek sometime later, but there's nothing more to that. Last week we received news that large swaths of Painscreek County will be auctioned off soon. We'd like to revisit this story and attempt to find out the following. Who killed Vivian, what was the motive, and what was the murder weapon? Let me just write this down. Okay, only Vivian's murder needs to be solved. Who, why, and with what. Just making sure I remember that. Because I did remember that there are several characters that are mentioned that died later. Please submit your findings in a front page photograph for a story to be published. Don't forget to bring a camera. Richard Harris, Editor-in-Chief. I don't have to, but let me just do this. And then my name is Janet Kelly. Okay, so I have my ID, I have my camera, and I have that mission statement. Okay. If I were to exit out there, I could just, like, make an accusation right now. I don't feel like it, though. I think posted on the window it might be important. Oh, right mouse button to zoom in. Okay. Oh, wait. I just remembered. I believe, yep, P is the, so the 1131. Yeah. Huh. Some light switches don't work. Find a better way to see in the dark. Oh, there it is. Just turn the inventory. Okay. Map of the town. I'm right down here. All my maps. The Moon Cafe, 35 Black Pine Road, in partnership with Anne's Courtway Inn and Suites. If you show our baristas your receipt for a room tag, you'll receive a free cup of our signature moon latte. Neat. Gonna keep that in mind. Joshua S. Taylor went missing November 3rd, 1989. Was 13 at the time. Biracial with red hair, brown eyes. Last seen on the playground. Last seen on 4 Pebble Lane across the river on the playground. He was wearing his favorite blue jacket and has a scar below his left eye. Vivian Roberts, successful businesswoman and wife of ex-mayor, found dead at her home. Vivian Roberts was the wife of ex-mayor Charles Roberts. Found dead outside her home on 1 Maple Drive, Painscreek, at 7:15 a.m. Does it actually say what day this was? Just bracket that so I can remind myself that that's an important year. At 7:15, Mary Martinez, maid currently working at the mansion, was retrieving the morning paper when she saw Vivian's body. She immediately called 911. Painscreek Sheriff James Howard arrived shortly, and the victim was pronounced dead. Time of death was estimated to be in between 11 p.m. last night and 1 a.m. this morning. The body is currently at the coroner's office awaiting for an autopsy. People at Painscreek have started grieving for her. Candles and flowers were being placed at the gate of her home where she was found. Vivian was indeed a person whom many respected and adored. Her success in business, her loyalty to her family, and her love for the people of Painscreek is unsurpassed. She will be missed. It might be a red herring, but I'm also going to write down this one. 19... Let me, do a little bit of calculation very quickly. So let's just say he was... Well, not just say. So he would be 23 at this year, and he would be 19? Even though we have his full name, I'm going to list it in partial, because, I don't know. I just don't think he's going to be that important, but I kind of want to keep him in mind. Sheriff's Department, 44 Hampshire Road in Sun City, NL County. Not quite sure what that is. I do wonder if that is like... I don't think it's Newfoundland. I think we're a little bit too European for that. Could be Canadian. I don't know. Dear Sheriff James Howard, due to decreasing population of Painscreek County over the recent years, we've decided to delegate manpower elsewhere. This letter is to inform you that you have been reassigned to Grand County starting May 14th, 1998. Please report to our office before the 12th. From Richard O'Donnell. Okay. That one's being recorded.
Hi, this is Steven. I just wanted to make sure the package was sent. Again, I'm currently at Anne's Courtyard. Any extra info you have would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
Steven is at Anne's Courtyard. Okay. Yeah, that's where I remember it from. It's Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites. So I guess it's a I guess it's an inn. I say guess like I don't know, but like I get I'm trying to erase most of my thoughts from this. I also know that this is the tutorial to help you figure out how to unlock, so I'm not writing down this key. After you use a key, it goes away, which is very useful. Okay, Scott Brooks, the pastor's son. Painscreek Trinity Church pastor's son suspected for killing Vivian Roberts. Witness reported seeing suspect fleeing from murder scene late. The police apprehended Scott Brooks yesterday afternoon. He was residing at the Roberts hunting cabin by the trailhead. For context, I am a little bit like neurotic about like this type of thing. Comes with the territory of having OCD, you know. Okay, according to a witness who at the time wished to remain anonymous, was coming home late on July 19th. The witness was coming home late on July 19th around 11:50 p.m. Quickly away from the Roberts mansion, heading down to Silver Lake. Although Scott looked upset, the witness did not think it unusual till a few days later when he came across the newspaper article on Vivian Roberts' murder. Feeling uneasy about the whole situation, he called the police. Now that doesn't sound right. It sounded like the entire town was mourning the day of Feels like a few days later is a little bit too long for that. It was July 19th to the 20th, because that's the time of death and being found out. So let me just write that down. Witness comes forward days later. Shortly after the call was made, the police arrived at Scott's cabin and questioned about his whereabouts that night, the night Vivian died. Scott said he did meet her that night, but said he had nothing to do with her death. Scott was later brought down to the station for further questioning. Okay. Vivian killed between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Okay, so yeah. There we go. That way it has like all of the information we know so far. It's locked. 4-digit combination for the classified files. I'm curious. I'm gonna try it. I don't think it's gonna be right though. No. Of course not. It would be funny though if it was. Okay, August 6th, 1995. So this is a few weeks later. This report is an update of what happened to Vivian Roberts. Scott Brooks is the only suspect of this murder case, was apprehended a few days after Vivian's body was found. According to our investigation, someone saw Scott around 7:30. Yeah, so Scott meets with Vivian. She dies. Scott was witnessed walking away from the house sometime after she died. Two hunters were looking for more wood for their bonfire when they heard shouting. They witnessed Scott and Vivian arguing, however, they were too far to hear the content of their argument. Two unnamed hunters. They witnessed Scott and Vivian arguing, however, they were too far to hear the argument. 6 months prior to Vivian's death, Scott was fired from working at the mansion. She cited Scott for tardy work and rebellious behavior. She also prohibited Scott from visiting the mansion and meeting Trisha, who by then had a close relationship with Scott. We are currently investigating the case. Scott is our main suspect. Yep, James Howard, dated the 6th. Oh. Old gate key. We're about to use that in a second, so I'm not gonna down. Oh! I'm gonna guess that this is James's notes. So this is 10 days after the murder. Vivian Roberts' funeral was held this afternoon. Bernard the butler, Dorothy the head servant, Derek the family chauffeur, always forget how to spell this, and his mom Wanda, who is fighting cancer, attended. Vivian's husband Charles came with their daughter Trisha. There we go. Charles did not utter a word. He was very quiet. Most of the town came and paid their respects at the funeral. Halfway through the ceremony, Trisha started to weep loudly. Dorothy brought her elsewhere, and the crying died down. I noticed that Dorothy looked tired. Must have been tough to take care of Trisha. She's been having multiple breakdowns. I can't blame her. With the loss of her mother and her boyfriend being accused of the killer, it must have taken a toll on her. I feel sorry for the whole family. Let me write down on the connections. So it wasn't just like a, like, oh, I like her or something. They actually were dating. The town of Painscreek is quickly becoming a ghost town. So this is 2 months later? Yeah. The population has decreased drastically over the years. Ever since the deaths occurred, it seems that more and more people are actively looking to leave this town. It's sad to see a once lively town become what it is now. So, 3 months after that, it's been almost 6 months since Vivian was killed. Her death still bothers me. Why was she killed? What is her killer's motives? She was someone who earned the love and respect of the community. No employee of hers, nor any citizen of Painscreek, reaped any benefit from her passing. It doesn't make any sense. So this is 2 months after that. Painscreek Community Hospital is officially closed. The remaining patients have been allocated to other hospitals that will provide suitable services for them. To be honest, it's hard to watch them leave. I wonder if the day will come when I'll be reassigned somewhere else. Okay, let me just fill out some of the stuff here. I wonder if the witness coming forward had something to do with the funeral. No. Witness came forward. Scott was then suspected. Funeral was held. That's why the note is like that. Then in February the next year, the hospital closed. There we go. There we go. James Howard's story. That little like notification pop-up was to tell me that story of Tonti. That I've read everything about that character, and that's also how you could tell I wasn't actually checking too many things. I'm honestly thinking that I might actually just like whittle some of this down a bit, especially like the audio of me like writing things down, you know. Okay. Doesn't look like I could open that. There's nothing underneath the sink, and I have to wait for those to close every single time. There doesn't appear to be a unlock button for that. Okay. So I might as well do the things that I know for a fact that I have already, like, seen, so I can kind of, like, get people up to date with my information. So, first things first is the map. So, we need to go to 3 different places before we can go to the 4th one. And that is, number 1, we need to go to Anne's Courtyard, over here. Then we're gonna go to the Mayor's Mansion, then the community hospital, and then the church. The reason why is because that is the exact order that I went to check those things out. And before I actually made it over to the church, that is when I found Bernard's house, which I cannot remember where it is exactly. I just know that it's on one of the side roads on Silver Lake, I believe. Now, if you're wondering why I know that, because I brute forced every single house. These houses that look boarded up, that you can't even interact with, clearly we're not going to be going into those. You know? But if a house has, like, no boards on it, we could go up and attempt to open it. If we can't hover over the lock and we can unlock it, it means that it's not a house that we can open. If there is a house that we can go over and we can attempt to unlock it, I will make a note of that in keyholes. Yeah, right now we only have the ones that were important. Must be supervised by a responsible adult. Management cannot be held responsible for any injury. So, Joshua disappeared around here. Oh. Load. I shouldn't go into the water. My equipment will get wet. That is also an important thing to note. So over here is a cabin. I was exploring over here a while ago, and I found this. This appears to be a well that I can't interact with, but I'll just remember that this is here for now. Let me see if I could find it again. Do list. Get firewood, give Trisha my spare cabin key, fix Miss Patterson's sink, visit Andrew at the hospital, check hospital for missing tools. And they never visited Andrew at the hospital. Interesting. Trisha's got the key for it. So, whoever was staying at the hunting cabin never ended up seeing Andrew at the hospital. They're in the middle of their, like, things to do list when they were cut off. It's locked. Okay, here it is. So, just off the path here where there are some, like, bird houses everywhere is a stump. Inside the stump, it's a red lockbox. Unlock. There you go. Okay. So, this is the box I was talking about. If you don't know, earlier, I could find the killer's name at any time. This box is a box that I have been told, because of the video that I mentioned, is one of the most important boxes. Until the game directs me to look at this box, I will not look at it. I also remember where the code for that is as well, but I will try not to look at it on screen, so I will try not to commit it to memory. Like, all I remember is, like, maybe there's a 1 in it. Like, that is how much I have tried to delete it from my memory. So yeah, whenever I see a house that has a door on it that isn't boarded up, I will check to see if it has a lock you could open. Post office. Oddly enough, we can't open the post office. You would think that we would be able to, but oh well. And these were the other houses that we saw earlier. So that's all of the stuff over here, so it's Pebble Lane. Might as well check this area over here. Unlock. Okay, so this one is 7. It's a very burnt house. No structural damage to the other buildings, which is, you know, kind of odd. But I'm not going to hold it against them. Black pine number 7. Looks like I should be able to get over there, but I just can't. Maybe this needs to be, like, open from the other side or something. Nope, doesn't look like I can open that either. There's also a chance that I need to, that eventually I get a key that just opens, like, all the gates. Okay. So I've made it down those two side streets, and now we're in the center of town. Right here, where Black Pine intersects with Town Center. Town Center, which is just this loop that goes around here. And here's the Inn and Suites. Yeah, since I'm just going to be cutting this up, I will, I'm going to just keep recording until I feel like a good stopping point for the night, you know? Probably after like 2 or 3 hours. And this door is just completely open. I like how, just in case we never found the flashlight, we can find another one over here. Power's still on. Untouched bottles of wine. I don't know if that's going to be important, but I'll just make note of it. Old-fashioned way to listen to music. It's a small gramophone. I'll take a picture of that. Then one... Oh, this is a different type. Marin. So this one is not part of the other bottles of untouched wine that are over here. That's a different brand. Electoral, but oh, it's the thing behind it. Painscreek Community Hospital closes its doors after 60 years of service. Yeah, that's the thing that we read at read earlier. What? PlainscreekHerald.com. I don't think, no, the internet was still primitive back then, but it still feels weird to see a, newspaper have a, have internet when, like, it didn't really become a thing until 2003 for some people. Fund embezzlement suspected as key factor. Painscreek oh, by Jonathan Walker. I'm gonna just put that into partial names right under Joshua because I don't know if, but it's a full name, might as well write it down. Leaders in long-term rehabilitation for the elderly in Newland. I guess Newland is just the state that we're in. I'm gonna just guess that it is a county in whatever country we're in. Fictional country of here. Finally closed the doors after 6 years of service. Painscreek Community Hospital opened its doors in 1936. Actually, let me write that down too. Serving as a humble abode for treating patients and provided boarding for those in need of prolonged treatment. Vivian Roberts, a successful businesswoman, saw the need to revamp the hospital in the early 70s. She founded the Roberts Relief Foundation with the main purpose to support the needs of the village of Painscreek, starting with the hospital. By the early 80s, the population of the village and local areas had started to decline rapidly. Many young people who went to college did not return, and the number of seniors were quickly rising with the increased need. With the increased need, it just ends. So the village started declining in population way before the murders even took place. Darts scoring. I don't need to, but I'll just put this into my notes just in case I need to look at it again. Enjoy your stay at Painscreek and take a chance to explore your surroundings. Traverse up the slopes of the Black Pine Mountains and take in the jaw-dropping views, or hike on our trails towards Cherry Creek Lake. Spend the night at Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites and enjoy the 5-star room service it provides. There are amazing things you can experience here. Looks like it's cut off at the top. Uh, Probably the trails are well maintained. There were vast trails to walk up and sceneries to view. No areas too far away to explore. Kind of another map. Cherry Creek Lake, Black Pine Mountains is north of the town. The old Creek town is up the road past the estate. Moon Cafe's acclaimed coffee has been known as one of the many reasons people come to Painscreek. If you haven't had something from there yet, we highly recommend you visit and taste for yourself. The Hunter's Trail is another one of our prides are hunting. There's no way I'm gonna be able to read that. How much of this can we see? Not much. I don't think we're gonna be needing that piece of information too much. We've always seen the missing person poster. For reasons that will be very clear, I'm not going to be taking a picture of this because this is a very. If you don't know what a Slim Jim is, it is used to unlock a door from the outside. Apparently, this was put in because not many people, while beta testing this game, knew what a Slim Jim was, and so they're just like, yeah, it's to unlock the door. But I think what they could have done a little bit better is have this be like a, hey, I have this device. Ask me and I'll do it for free. Just let me know. Because, like, I run a lockpicking service for cars. In case you need it. That would have been a little bit better of doing that. 17 Silver Lake Boulevard, Stevie's Barber Shop. Open daily from 9 to 6, except for Sundays. I think that's mostly just to tell me where that is. It's a location, same thing as the Moon Cafe. Painscreek Trinity Church. Sunday, the truth shall set you free. Worship. Come and join us for fellowship every Sunday at 9 a.m. Bible study will be held every Friday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. with a light dinner afterwards. If you would like to schedule a confession, please contact Father Matthew. So, since Scott Brooks is the pastor's son, we could very confidently say that the pastor himself is Matthew Brooks, is our local pastor. And then the actual, like, location is ripped off, but we could just check the map, see where that one is. Gone but not forgotten. Join us at our local church as we take time to commemorate all the lives that were lost 20 years ago. Word from Father Matthew, testimonies from the relatives, a unified prayer, and a chance to pay respects for the dead. Let's just say that this was put up in 1998. So that would be 78? Since we don't know where it is, I'm going to just put it at the beginning. Something tragic occurred. I'm going to just put asterisks around that. So we don't know too much about that yet. As you know, some of the victims were working fathers who were torn away from their families in an untimely manner. Any individual who would like to make a contribution to the families who were affected by this incident, please contact Father Matthew, and then the actual, like, location of the church. Robert Relief Foundation invites you to join us in October. Then that probably means if this was like all the same year, let's just say that this was in 1998 when people finally left the town for good. This is October of that year. And none of these have been changed around since then. Father Matthew is still around. Some member of the Roberts family must be around to keep the foundation going. Dorothy is still making pies. Like, these are all things that, like, I'm trying to, like, read into. Event coordinator Vivian Roberts. Oh. This was October. Maybe they just never changed that around. Or maybe this is just a fall festival that they have every year, so they just decided not to take down the note. So maybe we can't trust that. Still gonna take a picture of it anyway. Reminder, letters or documents for in-guest goes into its respective slots. Locked toolbox. And there's the rest of the darts for the dartboard over there. Here's the key that you requested. 7 Black Pine Road. Oh, it's the key. So we have a locked toolbox. What was the exact word that was used? Respective guest slots. Could just refer to them as the mail inboxes. Because the one thing I did remember is that these go to the rooms, not the actual lock boxes. We read that. Stephen Moss, that's the name we were looking for. There we go. They were in room 201 and then never dated out. And this is in March. And then Clancy Huey, which came after, but he has a phone number. No one else does. Wait, everyone else does. Some of them don't. Journal entries. There we go. No, it doesn't say. Oh, I'm gonna have to go all the way down to the sheriff's office, aren't I? That's annoying. Okay, so I made it all the way back down to the sheriff's station just to remind myself that it's actually on here. August 3rd, 1999, it was rumored that a private investigator in Painscreek sometime later, but nothing more on that. So I'm gonna guess that it was the year afterwards. So let's just say like 1999. So think about like this series of events. All of the stuff happens in July. Several months later, turns over to 1996. Hospitals closed because of embezzlement is suspected. Comes to town. I might as well just like spoil the fact that I actually know that Stephen Moss is the detective, but we have to kind of infer that right now. I might as well talk about where my mindset is at right now. So, there is a very interesting thing in some realms of detective fiction that very common to hear. It's called a red herring. And the idea of it is that it is a false answer to put in front of the audience very quickly for the detective to basically like rub their chin and go, that sounds too easy. The detective then doesn't pursue that avenue and instead picks a different one. You know, it's like very common to see stuff like that pop up in fiction. And I'm going to guess that Scott Brooks being the killer is that red herring. And we're probably not going to and he's probably ruled out as a suspect since it's too obvious. Oh, I can't do it again.
Hi, this is Oliver Gibson. I just wanted to thank you for letting me borrow your toolbox and shovel. I'm currently out of town for a few days, and I didn't get the chance to return it yet. In case you need them, it's currently sitting in my photo lab. Ask Mrs. Patterson for my spare key.
So what name was that again?
Hi, this is Oliver Gibson.
Oliver Gibson. Photoshop owner. Let me just write that in keyholes. So Mrs. Patterson has a key to the photo lab, but we do not know of a Mrs. Patterson yet. We don't really know where she is. Here are some of our usual customers. Might want to memorize this. The church is at 46 Silver Lake Boulevard, Painscreek. The photo lab is at 5 Walnut Avenue, Painscreek. The Roberts Estate is at 1 Maple Drive. Mr. Morris's house is 19 Black Pine Road. And Mrs. Hall is at 10 Town Center. So I guess partial names. Mrs. Patterson, which we don't know too much about. Mr. Morris. Mrs. Hall. I'm gonna just leave those blank because I don't know anything about those. Yes. No, don't know anything about them. Oh, that must be for the for those lights. Okay, so I guess it's reversed. Okay, room 204. Just the Bible. And an empty roll. Doors clipping through the toilet seat. Oh, I didn't take a picture of the guest list. Clancy Hugh was staying in 203, which explains why 203 is a little bit more disheveled of a room. Still has some stuff lying around. Yeah. Must have been their last customer. I mean, it was, but like, they probably like Dave and like bother to clean up afterwards. Okay. The 202, the 204 keys have been used. This room has a little bit more furnishings to it. There's the Bible. Then both of those are empty. Dear Stephen Moss, thank you for your rent payment. As stated in your rental agreement, however, when rent payments are not received by 404, you must pay additional rent because of a late charge due or you did not qualify for the rent discount. The required additional amount was not included in your payment and therefore is now due. Please send additional requirements sent of $85 at once to bring your credit balance up to date. remove the delinquent list. This amount must be paid within 7 days from the date of this notice. So by April, he still hadn't clocked out, which probably is why they were very confused as to why he had not left. April 4th, he just seems to have disappeared. And we know that because his car is still out front. So wherever he is, he has the key to his door. I think that's good enough for this room. So. Yep, and there's all the stuff in there. So, like I stated before, Act 1 is opening this car with all of his stuff into it, so we could get Stephen Moss's notes, so we could see what the detective was doing before us. Instead of a Maverick, it's a Marvarek. Okay, here is the Moon Cafe. There's no locks on this door, so can't enter it. This is the bookstore. Same thing here. So going up this road is Black Pine Road. We would end up at the hospital. Nope. Nope. That's up to the manor. Which house is this? 40? Black Pine 40. Okay, and here's the hospital. Let's see what else is around here. Yep, here it is. Oliver's Photography. Why is that locked? It's clearly a storefront, but there's no markings on it. this is the way up to the manor. This is the trash can. Another featureless storefront. This is the farmer's market, so we are right here. Stevie's barber shop. And here's the church. Oh. 43 on Silver Lake. Huh. This little awning. Oh. Silver Lake 31. Okay. So I think I've explored basically everything, except for the next 4 locations. So there's a cemetery, church, the manor, and the hospital. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a small break and think about where I'm gonna go next. I kind of want to do the manor first because I think I have a sneaking suspicion that I should probably do the manor first because I'm gonna be coming back there anyway since that is the scene of the murder. So if I think of anything at the other 4 locations for a reason to go back, I will. Okay, so I decided that I was actually going to cut the episode there. The whole recording that I did for this whole act ended up being about like 7 hours long, and I decided that instead of just making one long video. I think I'm going to just like segment Act 1 into basically like probably maybe 3 at this point, like 1 hour segments. Most of this final part was just walking around anyway, so most of the walking around in future episodes is basically cut out. Um, Also, an update. As I was editing this, the channel I was talking about is just about to premiere. Uh, act the Act 2 episode, so I'm actually going to try to avoid watching that because the amount that I watched of the first episode did kind of color how I went back exploring certain areas, and I like I'm currently writing down like some notes from like my like full watch of the episode because I stopped it at like a certain point and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a whole video on this, and then I came back to it, finished watching it. I have a lot of notes about the video, and I'm gonna include my thoughts on all the stuff that I learned after not only watching that video but from editing all this stuff. Probably on the third episode of Act 1. So either way, I'm gonna see all y'all next time. I'm going to let this render out where I head off to work, and I'll see all y'all next time. Goodbye.